Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our webinar on IPM performance for the month of September. So today's webinar, we will be covering a few very important topics. As you know, yesterday we have launched our PharmaTrac 2.0 with very strong features, better reflections. I'll just take you through what is it that would be changing with PharmaTrac 2.0. Then we go through our usual topics of IPM therapy performance, the growth drivers, the top 40 corporates, the top 40 brands. And we have already started an initiative, IPM Diaries, and we have got a very strong and positive response for this initiative. I'll just take you through a curtain raiser for the next episode, which will be launched very soon, of IPM Diaries for the month of October and the key takeaways. So when we do, I'm sure all of you must have seen the industry mailer yesterday, and a few of you would have also started getting the data formats, data access will start in a few moments from now. But then PharmaTrac 2.0 launch. With September data set, we have announced the launch of PharmaTrac 2.0. And what is it all about? First of all, we have generated a very robust panel coverage. We have almost doubled the consistent panels, which gives us data. This has actually led to stronger projection factors, bringing company reflections, especially in the mass trade segments, closer to the company internals. Better incorporation of inorganic growth aspects such as mergers, acquisitions, etc. in the company reflections. Because if you see how the Indian pharma market is evolving, brands are getting acquired, companies are getting acquired, mergers are happening, which actually, if you look at our projection factors, it's more about your distribution chain. And the projection factors depend upon the distribution chain followed by the brand. With the brand shifting from one company to another, the distribution chain, actually there is a disruption, but the new PharmaTrac 2.0 captures everything very well with its dynamic projection factors. Also, stockist business contribution changes. A-class stockist 4 years back may not necessarily be a A-class stockist, or the volume may have doubled. So this entire thing has, because of our dynamic projections, gets captured in a better way. It was not that it was not getting captured, but the methodology has become more robust and it gets captured in a better way in PharmaTrac 2.0. Also, as we have increased the panel coverage, with improvement in the panel coverage, we are in a position to capture the regional companies and brands better. So in this PharmaTrac 2.0, when you get access to this data, there will be a lot of smaller companies, but having significant brands. Probably these companies are zone-specific, state-specific, region-specific, but the capture of these companies and brands has improved significantly in PharmaTrac 2.0. Now, with the PharmaTrac 2.0, obviously, as we keep on changing the panel, you will see some changes in the PharmaTrac audit last month versus this month. So you will see changes in values and rankings of certain companies and brands, increase in size of certain supergroups. And if you look at the overall MAT value of the Indian pharma market for the month of September, it is 217,000 crores against the 204,000 crores that was seen in MAT August dataset. So obviously the reflections have become a little more robust. Some brands and companies reflections may have gone up, may have gone down. The over and under reflections have got corrected to a great extent in this audit. Our client engagement team has been in touch with the industry, updating about the above aspects on a regular basis before the launch. So this launch has been a proper partnership between Pharmarack and industry. And after the confidence was established, we have now launched PharmaTrac 2.0. So this was a brief, I would say, a precursor about what we have launched. Once you get the data, once you have access to the data, you will have better visibility on what are the changes that I have discussed in one small slide, but you will have a complete visibility towards it. So we'll go to our next section of the IPM therapy performance. So if you look at the growth of the industry, for the month, the growth of the industry has been 5.1%. Unit growth is on a slightly negative tone. However, some core therapies which have driven the value growth of the market are the cardiac segment, which has grown by almost 10%, the derma segment around 10%, and blood related by around 8%. Of course, there are smaller therapies like hormones, urology, stomatologicals, stimulants, and rejuvenators, which have also managed to grow at a double digit or a better growth, better than the industry growth. Anti-diabetes is one section which is a core segment or a bigger segment in the Indian pharma market and has managed to show a relatively better and a positive growth as against the industry growth of minus 2.3%. Obviously, this is because of a lot of molecules or molecular combinations going off patent and branded generics entering the market and making the most of the opportunity. After the IPM therapy performance, we go to our next section, which is about the growth drivers. The growth drivers that I'm showing today are not the monthly growth drivers, but we are looking at the quarterly growth drivers. So this is the growth driver for the quarter ending September. The quarter ending June, the growth drivers, at least the volumes, had some positive contribution. But for the quarter ending September, it is completely price-driven growth, though volumes are slightly on, volumes for the quarter of September are not completely negative, though for the month they are negative. But then if you look at the quarter ending September, all the three levers of growth are on a positive tone, volume growth being the least among them. Coming to the top 40 corporates, let me tell you that as against the data that we had seen last month versus this month, we will see some changes in the corporate rankings of certain companies, certain brands. But then this is how the entire audit has evolved, and we have done a lot of corrections in many areas. So if you look at the top corporates, though the Indian pharma market has grown by 5.3%, there are some companies like Sun, Cipla, Mankind, Alchem, Intas, Torrent, GSK, USV, Ipca, Micro, and Eris among the top 20, which have shown a growth which is much, much better than the IPM growth. Now, if we talk about it may be a single digit growth, but if the IPM has shown a value growth of 5.3%, this growth that these companies have shown is relatively better than the overall IPM growth. Also, there are certain companies like Mankind and Intas which have shown a positive streak in terms of unit growth. Now, this unit growth may look as a smaller unit growth, but if I compare with the unit degrowth of the Indian pharma market, this unit growth is much, much better. Coming to the next 20 companies, we have Sanofi, FDC, Ajanta, La Renon, Indoco, Corona, Forts, Hegde and Bayer, which have also shown a very good growth, whether it is value-driven growth or unit-driven growth in some areas or the other, whether it is value or unit or both. These companies have relatively shown better performance and are driving the growth of the Indian pharma market. Coming to the next section of the top 40 brands, what we see is Augmentin and Glycomed GP maintain their number 1 and number 2 position for the MAT level, whereas Monosif from Aristo has moved to the number 2 position for the month of September. Besides these these three brands, we have Mixtard, Fandi, Thyronorm, and Ultraset. These are the brands which have shown a very good double-digit value growth. And these three brands, Mixtard, Thyronorm, and Ultraset, have shown a very good double-digit unit growth as well. Coming to the next 20 brands, we have Rosuva's, Manforce, EcoSprin AV, Telma, Zincovit, and T-Bat, which have shown excellent double-digit value growth. And a good number of brands among these have shown a good double-digit unit growth as well. So our entire assumption or entire discussion that we had that the unit growth has stagnated or is somewhere negative may not be applicable to all the brands. There is a significant chunk among the top brands which have managed to grow and show a double-digit value as well as unit growth. So if I were to talk about the key takeaways of this entire thing of how the Indian pharma market has performed, the value growth of the IPM stays at a single digit 5.3%. Unit growth shows a slight degrowth. Cardiac, derma, and blood-related are among the top supergroups that have driven the growth of the market. A few players among the top 40 have shown growth better than the market. Augmentin and Glycomed GP maintain their top slats at a MAT level, whereas Monosif moves to rank 2 for the month of September. Now, every time in the webinar, I usually take a special topic, a different topic based on the data set. Unfortunately, since we were working on the entire new data set, I really did not get that much bandwidth to work on an innovative topic. So I could not cover a new topic today. But I would like to use this opportunity as to discuss about our new initiative of IPM Diaries, and the next episode of IPM Diaries gets released next week. So I use this opportunity to talk about the curtain raiser for IPM Diaries October 2024. And what do we discuss in IPM Diaries? The evolution of lifestyle diseases and how they have shaped the Indian pharma market. So India as an economy, as we are gearing towards becoming a developed nation, gearing towards becoming a strong superpower, as we adopt a lot of strategies that are followed by the developed nations, we also adopt the lifestyle diseases that are becoming more common and more prevalent in the developed nations. And IPM Diaries to October 2024 covers exactly all of this. So if I want to talk about and take you through the, why does cardio diabetes become a very important sector to discuss for the Indian pharma market? Now, this slide over here the numbers that I'm talking are type 2 diabetes demographics in the age group of 20 to 79. So we haven't considered the population below 20 or above 80 years of age. So if you look at globally, the people currently living with diabetes are 537 million versus 74.2 million in India. Undiagnosed diabetes, 240 million over here, and in India, 39.4 billion. And the number of deaths as a result of diabetes or its complications is around 6.7 million globally and zero point 0.6 billion in India. So this is just numbers and statistics. One similarity between the global and Indian statistics is if you see almost 50% of the cases, diabetes cases globally, are still undiagnosed. So this is a hidden opportunity which we have it at a global platform altogether. And this proportion is almost similar to what we have in India. Even in India, if you see, almost 50% of the diabetes cases, probably the percentage may be slightly more in India, but then 50 to 60% of the diabetes cases still go undiagnosed. So there is a huge population which is sitting and people have not seen that population. This slide becomes more interesting when we look at the contribution of India to this. So if you see, now this population that I'm talking about, 894 million, it is a population in the age group of 20 to 79 years only. So India contributes to almost 17.5% of the global population in the age group of 20 to 79 years. And if I look at 537 million and 74.2 millions in terms of percentage, this is 14% of the global population. So 14% of the global diabetes population sits in India. 16.28% of the undiagnosed diabetes population sits in India. And 9% of the diabetes deaths happen in India. That's the reason why today cardio-diabetes indications have become very strong opportunities that global pharma players are seeing in this country. Now, second, we talk about the non-communicable diseases. Now, what we talk about non-communicable diseases are mostly the lifestyle diseases. In the olden times when India was struggling to become a developing nation or, just a developing nation, probably it was more of communicable diseases which dominated. But as we are becoming superpower, the communicable diseases are increasing gradually. And within the communicable diseases, what we are seeing is the cardio, diabetes, and the obesity segment. This contributes to almost 66% of the communicable diseases within the country. And our IPM Diaries, October 24, focuses on the latest statistics and changes and the changing treatment dynamics in India. Just give me a minute. Okay. We also are looking in IPM Diaries on how this opportunity is optimally tapped by the Indian players, the MNC players, or the MNC players which have entered the Indian market just to tap this opportunity better. So if you look at corporates, over 100 corporates are operating in the cardio diabetes segment today. Now, this is 100 corporates which are significant players. Probably there will be many more, but what we have a visibility towards is at least 100 corporates are actively operating in the cardio diabetes and the anti-obesity segment. All the corporates are following interesting strategies for achieving leadership positions, whether it is utilizing the strength of their legacy brands or partnering with strong partners or using task forces or special activities to gain leadership having stronger KOLs. All different strategies are followed by different players to dominate in this segment. When we looked about the number of innovator molecules that have entered the Indian market in the last 20 years, almost 20 innovator molecules or molecular combinations have entered the country. And this has indicated the need, the demand, and consumption increase of lifestyle disease medications in the country. Indian MNC partnerships have played a key role in faster penetration and acceptance of innovator treatment options. Why do I say that? Because MNCs probably had the science with them, whereas the Indian pharma players had the reach and the leverage, and they could leverage their equity through these Indian pharma partners. Also, as molecules go off patent, many branded generics enter the segment and make the treatment options available to a wider population based at an affordable rate. All the above aspects will be discussed in quantitative terms and evaluate the quantum jump in the consumption seen in the IPM in our IPM diaries 2024, October 2024. Now, what is IPM Diaries about? Probably some people are attending this webinar recently, but then IPM Diaries is an initiative that, sorry, I'll just go through what is it that we will be covering in IPM Diaries October 24. So this page that I'm showing you is more or less the content table of IPM Diaries. So we will be having our IPM Diaries in 3 sections. The healthcare dynamics in India, where we will be discussing about the Indian healthcare landscape, a perspective of opportunities and challenges, statistics in the lifestyle diseases within the country, demand for enhanced treatment options, why and how is there increasing demand. The second section captures the evolution of cardiodiabetes segment in India, wherein we look at the emerging treatment trends, what are the unmet needs, and how are the unmet needs fulfilled by the newer therapies. What is leading to the organic as well as the inorganic growth in the cardiodiabetes segment and the wider reach of innovative treatments through branded generics? Exactly what is the proportion of growth that has happened in consumption in different segments because of branded generics entering the market? We also look at strategies followed by players in the Indian pharma market to make the most of the upcoming opportunities, how corporates have gained their leadership position, how they have enhanced their leadership position, and what are the different strategies they are used. And also we are looking at the cardio, diabeto, anti-obesity portfolio balance and the brand focus that different players have managed to have in this market to make the most of this opportunity. What is IPM Diaries all about? So IPM Diaries is an initiative from Pharmarack that focuses on strategic areas that drive exponential growth in the Indian pharma industry. The earlier topics that we had covered in IPM Diaries were 2 topics we have covered, and we really got a positive response on the same. Power of Mother Brand, wherein we looked at how Mother Brand has helped companies to develop therapy leadership and venture into innovative molecules in that therapy. And the second topic that we had covered was strategic partnerships in the Indian pharma market, wherein we looked at the inorganic growth levers adopted by the Indian pharma companies through interesting models of strategic partnerships. The October topic for IPM Diaries is evolution of lifestyle diseases and how they have shaped the Indian pharma market. So of course, we will be releasing the IPM Diaries paper, but then I would like to take the audience through this IPM Diaries just to discuss about, what is it that we talk about on each topic. So we have a webinar arranged on 18th October, that is the next Friday at 10:30 a.m. And we will be releasing the link for this webinar soon. In case any of you have missed the first 2 episodes of IPM Diaries, you can connect with me on my email ID to get the same. So that was all for today, and thank you everyone for joining us for this lively discussion, and have a nice week ahead. Thank you so much.